Welcome to the Kscope Podcast number 155. Billy Reeves here. Thanks for being there. We're going to get a little bit heavy. Empyre, TesseracT, Guillaume from Klone coming up. This, from the new Klone album, is called Apnea.
We slowly glide into the depths. Long and safe trip from the whale. We take the form of a
Apnea, Klone from the album Meanwhile, which is out now. Spoke to Guillaume in the middle of nowhere in France. And of course, the band haven't played for a while. They're back out touring, including some interesting dates coming up. I asked him how it was going.
We was a little bit stressful because, it's the first time we play this new song. And it's sometimes a little bit complicated to feel it on the stage,
Yeah.
So, but I have a lot of good things to say because there was a lot of people. I feel that the people were really connected with us, and it was a good vibration, exchange of good vibration with the people, and especially for Paris, it was the first time we played since maybe 7 years ago. So it was really cool, and we was on the top 500 people.
Okay.
And so, and really good people, so it was...
Yeah, that's what you... I guess, what's the future of live music? Because I do wonder if because of COVID, people haven't been able to go out, but creative people, especially musicians, have used the internet as a portal. We've seen TesseracT do films and stuff. Do you think is there still a hunger, a thirst for live music, do you think?
It's a good question. Sometimes I ask me the same question. It's not an evidence because I cannot see what will happen in the future. But I know today that there is a lot of problem, like the fact to pay a lot for the gasoline, and it becomes really complicated. We will tour a lot in France, and sometimes when we have to go on the south of France, it's very, very expensive. And if we have to play only for one show, it's something costs a lot of money. And sometimes I say to the booking agency, please, we really need to play 3 times when we go to the south of France. Even if we don't do that, it's too expensive, and we lost a lot of money. So it's complicated for this, but. For my part, I really like to tour, and to take the train to do a show because it's more comfortable, it's something I really like to do, but I know it's also something expensive, so it is in the UK. I mean, it's easier in France. The SNCF is easier and quicker. It's getting very expensive in the UK to travel by train. It's because they're private companies. Yes, but in France, everything become private, like in England. So it's also a problem and also there is a problem because when you want to take the train in France, sometimes you are waiting the train, but the train don't come to you.
Oh, right.
So if you have to do a show, sometimes it's really complicated. So let's see. I don't know, but you was talking about the fact to play a show with internet. We never did this with Klone.
No.
And it's not something I feel. I don't feel good. This like a good thing because it's not. You are not connected with the people. It's a good thing to feel what the people are reflected to you when they see you playing. And when I play, if I imagine me playing like this for you now, it's hey, I have a song for you, guys. It's not something.
No, I understand. Conversely, though, on the other hand, you can reach people in Chile, or you can reach people in Argentina. So there's that.
For this, it's good, but it's for me, it's not like if we play live music. When you play like this with a connection on internet, it's like for me, it's like if you are watching a video on YouTube. It's for me it's the same. Even if it's live or not, I put the button play. And it's not something amazing. I will not be excited, to do this kind of show. Even if sometimes it's cool to share music with people, I'm not excited for this because also it depends about the sound you have in your own home. But if you don't have a good system, and you listen it with a small headphone like this, or you will not feel the vibration of the music live, with a big system, etc. It's not the same.
And the room.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, no, I understand. But I'm very excited, as I'm sure you are, that you're playing with Devin. I mean, that's a really big deal, I think. What can we expect from those shows where you have to do short set. What can we expect from your supporting Devin?
Oh, it was really good news for us because we hear about this tour last year. We was in the US playing with the Pain of Salvation, and our manager Rob told us that maybe there is this plan next year. We have to talk about this. We just I remember that we had all the show, the list of all the gigs, and it's wow. And there is a lot of amazing venue. Like in France, we have l'Olympia at Paris, and it's a really beautiful venue, and it's a lot of big name in France and from all over the world playing this venue. So it's something, when I talk about this with my grandmother, l'Olympia, it's something amazing. It's wow, my son, it's amazing what's happened to you. So it's
beautiful.
Yes, it is. So it's the same for the old city we will play. It's a big venue, big stage, and we also will play around 45 minutes for each show. So it's a real pleasure, because for Devin Townsend, it's a guy who influenced me when I was young, because I discovered his music with Ocean Machine and also Infinity, the two first album, and I also really like the Teria album, the third one. And for me it was really cool because he changed my way of sometimes playing music, to simplify things. And I really like the fact that he used a lot of reverb on his songs, on his voice, and also a lot of delay on the rhythm guitar, So, and I really like his voice. Not really when he sings like with a heavy note, with this. But I really like the powerful in his voice, when and I was also listening Strapping You Lad. His oldest band, but I was a little bit younger.
No, it's going to be amazing. In the UK, one of the smaller venues you're playing in the UK is the De La Warr Pavilion, Bexhill-on-Sea, which it couldn't be more English. It's a very, very English town and a very, very English venue. It's smaller. That's hopefully we're going to come and see you at that if we can swag in, because that's so such a beautiful place. Is there on the new album? Is there a theme? Does it have a leitmotif running through it?
Oh, it's maybe it's a question about passing time. I cannot explain the lyrics because I'm not the guy who writes it. It's Jan, the singer.
I understand,
And we have it's particular because Jan writes his lyrics. He can do everything he wants, and he don't like to explain. Yes, each time we speak about this with him, or if a journalist asks him this question, he will say you have to read the lyrics and to do your own interpretation. Exactly, yes. So because it depends about your life, what you. Sometimes it's there is a special connection with people because it's sometimes it's poetic, and people can imagine something, and they can also compare it with their own life, because sometimes it's. I remember the last show we did in Mulhouse. It's a city in France. There was a guy who was crying on the front, and really it was amazing. And I remember that he said to me at the end of the show, because I said, "Hey, guys, he was crying during all the three last songs. So what's happened to you? Why this?" And he said to me that he lost his own children. Don't understand exactly what the lyrics are talking about, but for him, he just feel the emotion on the song, and for me, it was maybe something about separation with someone I loved, and I feel this, and it was amazing because you feel the emotion, the frequency of the music can do something in you, and you felt this, and. So
that's amazing. I think only music can do that. Of all the human abstracts, of all the things that you can creative people pluck out of the air that didn't exist and then exist. I think only music can do that. And your music is very good. It's very your music is very emotive.
And this is what I like to do. Sometimes people are playing music to get hatred. and or to be really for not especially good vibration, and I like when it's something positive, because the guy was crying, but it was good for him, because after he was
expunged.
exactly. So
Hello, we're Klone, and we would like to expunge.
We'll make it happen every day. Somewhere above the unseen. The only time without restraint. It's only once we need. This is what remains. We must give ourselves the means. Life's too short to wait. Embracing hope in all its grace. Today's within reach. We have to try again. We have to try again. And this is where it all ends. All gone well. The first light brings a soothing feeling on my Voices is in pain. The cry is a call that no one hears. You saw them lead their youth into the ground. Then you walk all the time, 'cause you have to lead your peaceful resistance. And now they read what they saw, forgetting that the end is near. The time has come for you to make it sound. Then you walk all the time, 'cause today it's within reach. It's on your way. We have to try again. We have to try again. We have to try And this is where it all ends. All gone well. First light brings a soothing feeling on my world.
You've been together a long time now.
yes.
How do you keep it fresh?
Um, maybe just we don't live in the same city. We sometimes we can do party all together, but it's not something usual because, for example, Jan, the singer, have 2 children, so you have to be available for them, and you also have to work. So sometimes it's complicated, but we also passed a lot of time in the same bus when we do to play a show, and we are really closer with each other. So it's still it's a pleasure when we can see us all together. We still have good time. It's really funny. It's not something negative. There is no negative things between us. When we have something to say, we say it, so everything is clear. And no, really, it's a real pleasure. And for example, we will go on tour next week. We have to join the Devin Townsend tour.
Yeah.
And we will live all together for 1 month. So it's cool, and I know that it's all the people from Klone are really excited with this idea to be all together. And it's really
a bit like being kids again.
Yes, exactly.
Because he's your granddad.
Yes, exactly. But it's really cool. There is no problem between us, so it's a good thing, and I hope it will be the same for the future. But because sometimes it becomes difficult with the time. But it's not today. We don't have a problem, about this, and we still are friends since maybe now. For Aldrich, for example, it's like we play with Klone since 10 years.
Yeah.
And I know Jan since I met him. There is 20 years ago. A little bit more, and all the things are still simple,
Good.
That's
the same. Pretty much that's your whole adult life.
Exactly. Yes, it's the same. It's simple to work with them. It's simple to live with them. It's simple to speak. So it's a good thing because I know it's not the same for all the band because I have a PR company in France and I work. I like to promote different bands, and sometimes I can see the problems you can find in the band. It's like this problem is that you can have with your own girlfriend. Sometimes it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's
sometimes everybody has to be on the same drugs.
Yes.
that's always my advice to young bands. If you're going to make sure you take the same drug. We talked about how you've not been able to play concerts because of COVID. How did it affect the band generally? Because obviously there's no work. Did you use it creatively?
Not especially. It's
okay.
And we were lucky, because we released Le Grand Voyage.
Yeah, it was just the Grand Voyage was just before, wasn't it? Yeah.
And we are lucky because we had the time to tour in France and also in Europe with the Leprous. So we were lucky to do a lot of shows before the COVID. So it was we was just coming back from the Leprous tour in France, and just 10 days after. It was the COVID. It was impossible for me to get out from my house. So it was what's happened there? And it was good because I remember that we needed the holidays, and the good thing it was that I had the time to do all I have to do in my own house, and it was the beginning of the COVID was cool for me. And the things I didn't like, it was just a question about to get out from my house and to have to give a special paper to the police to explain to him that I need to buy my bread, to eat something, etc. So
I heard about this in France. It's like the war where you had to have a special docket to permission to leave the house. Yeah.
I needed to write my own document to allow me to get out from my house. Yes, Guillaume, you can. It was completely stupid, and it was funny sometimes. But when you have to pay something to a police because it's too long. You was walking on the street for too long time. for me it was something completely stupid, and I think I don't want to live this again, because even if it was funny because it was new, for 1 month, okay, it's new, it's funny, you can organize your life differently.
Quiet, yeah.
That's
really. Is it? Sorry about Brexit. Is it going to be difficult coming to the UK? You've got to fill in a load of forms.
It's funny you talk about this, and my passport was not validate. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Not enough time on it. Yeah, not valid.
Not valid, exactly. So, and I needed to do a new one, but really quickly. In France, it's really long to get this kind of paper. At first, when I speak about this with my administration, it was a question about to wait 3 months.
It also means it's very it means that your records are more expensive if your record company is UK based.
Yes.
To post them out, Burning Shed, the distributing company, everything's just become, someone's making money out of it. Now, what about the contemporary scene in France then? What French rock groups should we be listening to?
Oh, there's a lot of good band, and I know a lot of new band because, like I told you, I'm working for my own PR company in France, so I try to promote new band, and it's really difficult to do music today, and the beginning of a band is really something amazing and really complicated.
Yeah, totally.
And I have to explain to all the band I'm working with all the complexity. To do music, to get a good network, to develop their band, to find show, etc. So I can suggest you Hangmans Chair.
Hangman's Chair.
It's a really good band. I really like. Sometimes they can sound like typo negative for me.
Oh right, okay.
And I really like their sound, and if you can see them live.
There's one thing I just want to finish off with is what's the plans for the future? Devin, the album's in the can. You can sit back and feel the vibrations of the De La Warr Pavilion. But what happens next? Where do you see Klone going?
Oh, I don't know. I don't want to make plan for this because I don't like to have. I like to have good news, and if I don't wait for something, I still will have good news. For example, I was not. It was not a dream to do a tour with Devin Townsend, and so I will do it. Everything is confirmed now. But if I just need to have the things who come to me, and I don't want to think about this. It's if there is good thing, it's cool. If it's not good thing, it's like this. And but I really hope to still playing music. In 10 years. I still have a lot of songs to release in my computer, so I still want to play music and to with the same people because it's really cool to work with them, and maybe I will also like to tour in different countries like Japan, China, maybe Africa. Why not?
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great attitude. A pessimist is never disappointed.
Yes, exactly.
Like a breath in the air, the calm I saw you in my deepest dreams, then I won't let you go. We'll have the world we need, for there's a ray of hope. Night and day, I will be by your side. Everywhere there is so much to live before we die. It's time to change. Together far from that light. There is so much to see on the other side. We'll save the world we've created, no matter what. But I feel under my feet the ground liquefied. 'Cause hope's within reach that we must strive. Until the sorrow, I will stay by your side. Night and dawn, we carry on the fight. Stay with me. There is so much to see on the other side. On the other side.
That's the latest single, Night and Day. They're called Klone. The album is called Meanwhile. Before that, you heard a little bit of Hangman's Chair with Naive, as recommended by Guillaume. Before that, you heard Within Reach, the opening track of Meanwhile, and before that, Apnea. Klone's album, Meanwhile, is out now. As mentioned, they're touring with Devin Townsend, and we'll see you down at the De La Warr Pavilion, Bexhill-on-Sea. Now, keeping your ears full of heavyosity, here's the new Kscope signing, Empyre, Forget Me.
I'll start with goodbye. No, this won't take long. Just hear me out. Then I'll be gone. I
Empyre, Empyre, that's entitled Forget Me, from the Kscope album Relentless, which is out at the end of March. We've got a very revealing interview with Henrik from the band about their journey coming up in the next Kscope podcast. They're adding dates all the time in support of the album, notably the 22nd of April, KK Steel Mill in Wolverhampton for the album release party and show. Right, a little bit of shade after all this light. Jonathan Hultén.
Quiet suspension, I'm spending my days like a bird in a cage, waiting to break out. Sometimes I've tasted freedom, like it is, like it sounds. Special moments I find all that I want. Can you feel it? I feel it. As it flies round and round and makes me leave the ground. I am suspension. I am spending my days in the name of a dream. I lock myself away. Sometimes I've tasted madness, like it is, like it sounds. And in those frightening moments I find all that I need. Can you feel it? I feel it. As it flies round and round and makes me leave the ground. I am leaving.
Jonathan Hultén, Leaving, from the remarkable album The Forest Sessions. Jonathan will be playing this material throughout a German tour in March, supporting long distance calling. I want to take this opportunity to point you towards sibling label Transmission. The Transmission edition of Porcupine Tree's Dead Wing is out on the 3rd of March. Also, Transmission editions of Stephen Wilson's Hand Cannot Erase and The Raven That Refused to Sing, and therefore I'd like to point you towards Stephen Wilson and Tim Bowness from Nomad and others' podcast, The Music Years, where they look at a year, the classic years they consider to be 1965 to the millennium. The current one is brilliant. It's 1995. Check it out as Tim Bowness schools Stephen Wilson about Britpop. And to finish, the Guv'nors of Dgent, TesseracT. The cinematic experience is now streaming. It's called Portals. From that, Eden. Thanks for supporting the Kscope podcast. Like and subscribe and share the love. See ya.